Shepherd, the pressure is off. He has qualified and he's got a match against fellow new pro Darrell Whitworth to almost do a little lap of honour. That match is next. And there he is, your newest Ultimate Pool Champions League last 16 member. Zak Shepherd has qualified from group number 1. He's got a little way to go until he'll play again, mind, in the Champions League. This is a weekly competition on the Monday night, so I can tell you exactly how many weeks he's got to wait. It's 15, because we've got to see all the remaining groups still to play out. So a little while until Zak is back in action, and it's such a long time that his form here that he showed tonight will almost be irrelevant by the time the last 16 rolls around, and we might be talking about what a great start to the season he's had, what a poor start to the season he's had. It really could all change, but one thing is for certain: his first 2 matches against Dom Cooney and Tom Cousins have ended with victory, and that is a dream start to any Ultimate Pool Pro campaign.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You still want to sign it off here, don't you? You still want to finish strong, get the clean sweep. It's going to be tough out for Darrell, so you expect Zak to get to the table in this frame. I don't know how he deals with this yellow on the left-hand side. Could go across for it now, trying to fire into it, but chances of landing on it or landing on anything off it seem tough. Okay, so this yellow must go off the red. It doesn't look like it from our camera angle, but he's playing yellow off red. Red goes into the 8 ball. Not sure it pops the yellow into play, but we'll find out. Certainly doesn't. There is still plenty to play for here for Darrell, because we know Zak's going to finish top. Darrell can actually finish second here with that draw in the previous match. He gets victory here. He'd go tied with Tom Cousins and leave Dom last. Which obviously earns you more ranking points. For the new professional, that's worth quite a bit. For Tom Cousins, when you're miles ahead at the top of the rankings, not a lot. He's a little bit short here. Well, scratch that. He's an awful lot short. Plan was to try and get past straight on the red, and then you sort of stun down the line towards the red on the cushion, and once you're there, assuming you don't miss the one down the cushion, if you're right behind it, you're not going to, you're out. Now you've got a very bad angle. Excellent recovery shot. Absolutely perfect recovery shot. I think the slight grimace on his face is that he could slide behind the yellow on the right hand side here. He's come a couple of rolls too far down the table. No, he was okay. The line was bad, that was the problem, but he could drop it in dead weight enough, there was no issues.
Zak Shepherd's excellent night continues apace. Group 1 is all sewn up. Zak Shepherd in the zone. Group 2, though, will be decided next week, and it is a belter. Josh Duaz, Aaron Davies, the ringer John Rowe, and World Youth Champion Jaden Billingham. That is a saucy, saucy group. Really looking forward to that. Super excited to see how Jaden Billingham gets on. Promoted up via the Challenger Series on merit from last season. Still so young, still got so much to do in the game, but there hasn't been many higher rated prospects than him in recent years.
Agreed. It's an interesting group. I think it's one of those groups when you look at the full lineup of all the professionals, I think all 4 players would have been relatively happy with a draw there. I think all 4 of them can look at that and think, oh, there we go.
Oh, wow. Oh. Well, it's all gone so well for Zak Shepherd tonight, and then it's a golden duck, and it's 1-1 in the blink of an eye. That is astonishing bad luck. Out comes Daffy. Sit back down, Darrell. Frames over. It's 1-1.
He goes straight in with a cue ball, so he gets the break wrong. It's doubly punished, though, isn't it? We see a lot of golden breaks in the Champions League. We do not see many golden ducks. But if you're going to have one, why not have it when you absolutely have nothing to play for? You're already safely through.
Yeah. But imagine, and this is the point, right? If Tom Cousins had won the last match, imagine that's just happened. Zak Shepherd has started perfectly, then all of a sudden he has a golden duck. Does that sow a seed of doubt in the back of his mind? Does Darrell come to the table? Does he clear? These are all questions we'll never know the answer to. But I'm almost a little bit sad we never got to find out, get a chance to ask him.
I mean, yeah, from the neutral perspective, I mean, personally, I love seeing, all the players under pressure. It would have been great to see. We've heard the best players in the world talk about it. Remember when, go back a couple of years, we saw Gareth Potts in the situation of being 2 wins from 2, and he had to just get a result in his final match against the 4th seed, and he felt he was under huge pressure going into that match. He did get over the line, of course, but he talked about it in the interview afterwards, but just about the pressure he felt. It would have been interesting to see, of course. Zak is happy about it. Good layout, this one. Right under his hand, connects himself down the table. Doesn't need to get down the table. Drop this in, the one that's on the line in the triangle area passes through the gap. And then the other 2 comfortably go, and the 8 ball's in the open, so you'd expect Zak to make this finish, and maybe he doesn't. Is he on the red? If he's not, it's a poor shot. He's lining up the potting angle, so I think he's on it, but not as he wanted to be. That's not good as well. Not sure if that's because he had to turn it in or pot it thick, but needed to be a lot closer to straight in on this red. Look at the yellow. He played a shot like this earlier on in the night in his first match, turned it into a finish, but red into the cushion, using the yellow to make it. Could play the double. I think he's going for the shot he played earlier on tonight. Beautiful.
That's super. well. What a night he's having. He's won all 3 frames.
That's true.
This was a lovely little last shot. Judged it well. Been a super performance from Zak. Really looking forward to getting into the studio after this match and sort of talking through the night a little bit, because we can get into the nitty gritty. It's all well and good, isn't it? Sort of building up before the night starts and saying, yeah, I've made a lot of tweaks actually to my game. I've been working hard. I've been in the lab. I've done this. I've done that. And all of a sudden, if your first night goes terribly, then it sort of falls a little bit as empty words. But I think we can all agree Zak Shepherd is the best player out there tonight, and he's playing in a group with Darrell Whitworth, Super Challenger player, come up this season, Cooney, an ultimate pool champion, and the current world #1, and he's looked by far and away the best player tonight.
Yeah, he hasn't won this match yet, so there's, I can't complete the statement yet, but if you said that a Welshman was going to turn up tonight, put together a buzzer beater in his first match, win his second match 4-0 and get over the line with a match to spare, how many people would have said it was Zak Shepherd and not Tom Cousins?
Quite.
That's another opportunity for Darrell to win on Zak break, but he's going to have to do it himself this time. Daffy's not available. Does a red go through the gap of the yellows? Because it might need to now. He's so straight, flat on the cushion here. He can't get a good angle to get underneath these 2 reds off the red by his hand. He can easily get above them though. So if the right hand one of the 2, I think, might pass to the corner, in which case he still has an out. He's played on it, so it must do. Not on the red, can you believe it?
Yes.
Well, at least he didn't foul. Small victory, I guess. Days ahead for Darrell. I think he will go well. I think we'll see some good performances from him this year on the pro scene. It's not been his night tonight. Sure, there's a gap there. First glance, this is really tricky to hit. Oh, maybe there's a gap off one cushion. Yeah, there was. It wasn't too bad to hit in the end. Still, Zak's completely in the driving seat in this frame. Looking to get the clean sweep.
Nicely played.
Gets his cue ball in hand, but a couple of the yellows just go awkward. Kind of playing that situation, trying to get cue ball in hand, and then you've got complete control and pick your route, but yellows are being moved awkward and in the process, so may wait a visit or two yet. Yeah, I think that's what he's planning here. Sure he's being aggressive. Yeah, no, he's not. Both players really still grinding out there, even though it's a fairly flat match. It's quite interesting to see that both giving everything in this tactical frame. But finally, Zak has decided now is time, and they are all there. So why wouldn't you? Interested to see how he goes about the yellow below the 8 ball and the 8 ball, just from a pattern perspective. Try and 8 ball, you can make a case as the hardest ball on the table, and you want to leave it as easy as possible. You could get right behind and drop it in the middle. Could play for it in the corner, could try and move it.
Perfect angle to land on it now. Can maybe do a little bit extra as well if he so wishes.
I think you land on the yellow with an angle to play a little cannon. Yeah, he's a couple of rolls short. That's why he left the yellow over the bottom corner pocket. If you played if he goes an extra 2 rolls, it's an absolute guaranteed cannon, because you go 1 cushion into the 8 ball. 8 ball rolls 2 or 3 rolls forward, and you're on the yellow to bottom right, and with an 8 ball over a pocket. But he didn't quite get there, so has to work a bit harder.
Still fancy him from here, mind. Takes his medicine. Looking long. And then it flies. Excellent finish from Zak Shepherd. Again.
Yeah, I think if he was reviewing it, I think he'd like to have dealt with the 8 ball in a better way. Not that it matters, he still kept it pretty clean, pretty simple. A very makeable 8 ball he dispatched with no problems whatsoever.
Tough night for Darrell. Not been his evening, but he'll have learnt a lot from tonight, I'm sure. He's played in the Pairs Cup before a few times. He's had a run in the Ultimate Pool Amateur Championships as well a couple of seasons ago. So he knows what it's like in this arena, but it's a whole different ball game, really, coming onto prime time. With Monday Night Pool, playing by yourself in the Champions League, and I'm sure he'll be all the better for this experience. Not been his evening though.
No, he'll probably look back at that first match against Tom and feel like he had more, you know, could have got more out of that match than he did. Didn't have too much that more he could do in his match against Dom. Oh, and the 8 ball's going to go in here as well. Can you believe that? Wow.
Well, when your luck's in for Zak Shepherd, your luck is in, and he completes the run through Group 1 of the Ultimate Pool Champions League by winning 3 in a row. Dom Cooney beaten, Tom Cousins beaten, and Darrell Whitworth beaten. Zak Shepherd is the Group 1 winner. Welcome back, everybody. Ultimate Pool Champions League. The studio just got a whole lot busier. Zak Shepherd joins us to talk through a fabulous evening. Qualification for yourself, Zak. First of all, mate, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
That was
Thank you.
it was a hell of a performance. I mean, we both spoke to you off air and indeed on air before we got going tonight, and you know, you've spoke with a certain confidence, and you've been saying you've been away in the lab working on some stuff, but you know, admitted that, you know, it might come a little bit early for you tonight. Were you expecting that? I mean, that was as good as we've certainly ever seen you on the main arena table.
Whether I'm deluded or not, I'm always confident, like whether that's delusion or whatever. But I've worked really hard, like, and most people can tell as well, I've lost a lot of weight, like worked hard at that. Mental side, I've had coaching recently, try and work on stuff that, at the end of the day, we're all learning, no matter how good you are. Even Ronnie has coaching, he's had coaching recently off certain people, so I've worked hard on my game. I've treated it like I'm a professional, which I am now technically, even though we're not quite there yet money-wise. I'm treating it like that, and I'm happy it's paid off straight away. Like, there's a long way to go, of course, in this next 2 years. But
I said after the first match, obviously a small sample size, but I've seen you play a lot, and we've seen you on obviously major stages. We've seen you come up with great shots, great clearances. We've seen you go the other side of that as well. But there was a calmness and there was a clinical nature to the way you played tonight. It you know, obviously one match in, it was a small sample size, but it just felt like you belonged, and it was as good as we've seen you.
Yeah, kind of how I've worked on my cue action, the fundamentals, and everything like that. I just feel more solid. Like tonight, that's the most confident I felt striking the ball anyway in that arena, and I've won some big games and I've lost some big games. I was trying to explain to my mate before that match, I'd lost once 8-0 out there in one of the events, and that was where my game was at. It was very inconsistent, and I've worked really hard. I'm happy it's paid off, because Leanne, my partner's not happy amount of time I'm not at home, so it needed a payoff, because otherwise...
You put the hours in, to be fair.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, sorry, just in terms of what you have been working on, Zak, is it just pure fundamentals, so breaking your game down right to the bottom and working on the real basics, or has it been a little bit more subtle than that?
It was only little subtle changes. I was basically just getting through the white ball too quick. I kind of did a bit of work myself, looking at it, recording myself working, and kind of looking how I wanted to change. And then I went for a bit of advice from some qualified coaches. Thank you for Simon, because he's been really good. Simon Seabridge, he's been really good to me.
I thought you were thanking me then for a second.
Well, I do watch your TikTok, so that does help as well. But basically, the work, he just noted some subtle things I could help, but just helped me get through the white ball so much, and I feel more solid on the shot.
I want to talk about the mental side of the game. It's a part of the game I find fascinating. But you mentioned that 8-0 win. Was that or 8-0 loss? Was that the kind of the final outing for that particular cue? Because so the reason sorry for reminding you of that, but the reason I wanted to mention it is the fact that, I mean, all pool players go through that sort of mental state where it's so frustrating. It is, match play sport is tough, and you go through the ringer at times. And it's great to see you have obviously experiences like that, but you can put in performances like this as well. And obviously you've rededicated yourself and you're putting the time in to get those things right. Yeah,
so that situation, it was quite frustrating, because I put so much time in, but at the end of the day, if you're not doing the things right, and you need practice to a purpose to practice, basically. Otherwise, you're just doing everything wrong, and it's just getting worse. If you're doing the same thing, getting the same results, you're going to get the same results. If you do the same thing, if you're not,
you're almost doubling down on the mistakes in a way.
Yeah. So at that event, I put so much time in. I said to a few lads in our group chat before that match, I said I feel really good. Then I lost 8-0, and then of course I had them ribbing me in the group chat. And then I basically, as you said, I snapped my cue
It drives some people to snap cues. It drives some people to stop playing altogether and come into a commentary box. But it is good to see that. Obviously, the other side of that is that you obviously realise that there's a mental side that you need to work on as well as the technical side, and the two things go hand in hand.
Yeah. So I'm really lucky to be in this position, because I just missed out on qualifying. Like I said in the interview before, I missed out qualifying. I got to a quarter and semi, and the semi wasn't in the game. The quarter, I lost 6-5 to Mark Gray. He went on to win the event. If I win that, I qualify. I was really disappointed, but luckily because of how high I was in the rankings, I've been looking to have opportunity, and I wanted to just take it give myself the best possible opportunity over the next 2 years, put everything into it, and if I'm not good enough after 2 years, I get relegated, or I'm just not getting results, then at least I can say when I stop playing, I tried, and I've treated it as professionally as I can the last, say, 6 weeks since I found out, and I'm just happy it's happened so quickly. Of course, how quickly and how stuff changed in pool, it could all go downhill again, so I need to make sure, even after winning 2 there, and I knew I was through, I wanted to win that last match, because I don't want to be settling for stuff. Like I said with the goals before, I want to reach and I want to get to the top. Whether I'll get there or not is another question.
Got to ask though, all that being said, and I completely see your point about being as professional as possible, and I think it's brilliant, but you've got to be letting Tom have a bit of it.
You've got to give him
after zipping in 4-0, haven't you?
I said we've had the.
You're never going to get a better chance.
We've had the well, no, because I really like Tom. I will maybe, but basically all weekend in the Welsh Championships, I've been saying to the lads, I'm going to beat him. Whether I'm deluded, you know, what I mean, you got to back yourself. You got to back yourself. Yeah. So, yeah, I actually play all right against Tom. We've had quite a few games. I always play okay. I don't. So I found like in the short race, if I'm going to beat him, it's going to be now. If I play him in a pro event first to 8 or a longer format like the race to 13s, then I'm going to have to play no miss pool like the Pro Cup final when I was here. I was watching me against Declan.
But I also think the way you beat him, obviously the fact that it ended up being 4-0 and he kind of looked a little bit lost out there, you were punishing his errors. It just felt like he took that into the next match as well, and then obviously which gave you the free ride in the last match of the night. It felt like actually the matches rolled onto each other, which actually had a big factor on the night.
Yes, I didn't watch either of the other games because I had a routine that I wanted to go back into the practice table and just play during those breaks, not non-stop, because I wanted to rest, but I wanted to keep my arm going and not come back on and feel like I wanted to keep that going. What I did in the first game, how solid I felt. I don't know. I can tell watch it back. I don't know how solid I actually was, but I felt great. Yeah. So I felt great. So I wanted that to carry on.
When did you find out that you didn't have to get a result in that final match? That must have been a nice feeling all the same.
I was practicing on table 1. I was looking through the window. I could see Leanne's reaction, and I couldn't tell if she won or lost. And she came over and gave me a hug, and I was like, okay, I'm fine.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah.
Well, you're through into the last 16. I mean, we won't see you again on the Monday night for a little while. That's sort of the curse of going first, at least. But it must just give you such a confidence boost heading into the rest of the season. Obviously got British Open at the sort of back end of February, which obviously is the first sort of major event of the season. But does it just give you that little boost to start the year? Obviously, everything that you have been doing is obviously tracking in the right direction. You've seen some early progress. Must just give you such a boost for the rest of the year now.
No, definitely, because if, say, it did go wrong, I in my head, I think I would have, even if it gone wrong tonight, I would have still kept putting the time in. But I could have easily gone, well, I'm not there, if you know what I mean, and kind of slacked. But hopefully this will do. It'll give me the drive to keep doing what I'm doing, putting the time in, work and keep losing the weight, because I still need to lose some weight, even though I'm happy how where I'm going. And then my next big event is probably Malta for the European Championships, which represent Wales. I always want to give everything.
With Tom by your side.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be player 1 now, surely.
Yeah. Just knock him down the order.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. But we're not there yet. He's still leading off. But
yeah, I think fair play. Well, look, Zak, congratulations on a fantastic performance and a brilliant Ultimate Pool Pro debut.
No, thank you very much.
And we are going to leave you, but just before we do, it is time to remind you about what's coming up for you next week. This is an absolute barnstorming group early on in the Champions League. Josh Duhas, Aaron Davies, John Rowe and Jaden Billingham make up a cracking Group 2 for the right to join Zak in the last 16. From myself, from Sy, from Zak, from all the team here at Players in Newcastle under Lyme, we'll see you soon.
Oh my word. Oh my God. Your Champions League winner is Declan Brennan.